Russian riot police used tear gas and batons against protesters in Bashkortostan following the sentencing of a rights activist to 4 years in a penal colony. Video footage showed clashes between supporters of Fail Alsynov and the police, with some protesters throwing snowballs near the court. Alsynov was convicted of inciting ethnic hatred, a charge he denies. One protester suffered a head injury, and numerous individuals were detained and injured, according to monitoring group OVD-Info. The protests and trial occurred in Baymak, near the Kazakhstan border. Authorities have launched an investigation into certain demonstrators under charges of mass rioting, punishable by up to 15 years in prison. Bashkortostan's Interior Minister, Rafail Divayev, cautioned protesters to think rationally and avoid ruining their lives. Local journalist Artur Asafyev stated that the authorities aim to make an example out of both the protesters and Alsynov. Asafyev noted that the sentence imposed on the defendant was harsher than the prosecution's request, indicating an intention to incite anger. Some reports estimate that a few thousand people participated in the multi-day demonstration, enduring temperatures as low as -20 C. Asafyev mentioned that residents of Bashkortostan were already accustomed to protesting environmental issues and traveled from far distances to this remote town. He said people were not afraid of arrest and came out despite Baymak being a 5-hour drive from the regional capital, Ufa. Protesters were observed expressing support for Alsynov, with reports of some individuals attempting to block the entrance of the courthouse after the verdict was announced. Russian investigators reported that law enforcement officials were among those injured during the protests and claimed that protesters used objects as weapons. Tear gas was allegedly deployed, and protesters were seen hurling snowballs at police behind riot shields. Alsynov was subsequently driven away from the court to applause from supporters as they started to disperse, according to OVD-Info. The activist stands accused of insulting migrants during a protest against gold mining plans. However, his supporters argue that the harsh verdict is retribution for his activism in preventing soda mining in a location considered sacred by locals. Alsynov maintains that the words he used in the Bashkir language mean poor people and were mistranslated into Russian, where they are considered derogatory. He plans to appeal the verdict. As he was escorted away, Alsynov told journalists, "I do not accept guilt. I have always fought for justice, for my people, for my republic, so we will see each other again. The people came to support me, and I do not know what is going to happen. We did not want this. A huge thank you to all who came to support me." Alsynov has previously criticized the military mobilization in the region as a genocide of the Bashkir people, a Turkic group closely related to the Tatars that inhabit the southern Ural Mountains. There have been persistent allegations that a disproportionately high number of ethnic minorities in Russia are being deployed to fight in Ukraine. Alsynov was a leader of Bashkort, a grassroots movement established to preserve the ethnic identity of the Bashkirs, but it was banned as extremist in 2020.